Hey, what's up, fam? Oh my gosh, it's your girl Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I am so excited to be here with you guys. It is our first episode of 2022. I am so geeked. We're gonna let a few more people get in before we get started. But for those that are coming in, make sure you guys go ahead and click that arrow in the lower right corner and share this conversation with 3 friends you think might love it. Yes, and you guys know we gotta start off the show. We not changing nothing. Hello, Happy New Year. We have to start off the show the same way. We gotta ask you what you're grateful for. I'm gonna start it off. So you guys know the routine. Drop in the comment section something you grateful for. I don't know if I'm crooked. Okay, could just be my head crooked. I don't know really. But you gotta give me something that you're grateful for today. What am I grateful for? I am going to say I am grateful for, I'm grateful for the sleep I'm going to get tonight. I ain't going to cap. I'm dog ass tired. Very tired. So I am grateful for the sleep in advance. I'm super grateful because I'm going knocked out. So I did see Gene is in here, you guys. Make sure you guys share this conversation with 3 friends you think might love it. We can, you can never stop sharing great episodes with people, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my episode with a couple people I think would like it. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. Hey, you guys drop in the comment section something you're grateful for. We always have to start off with something you're grateful for. I said I'm grateful in advance for the sleep I'm gonna get tonight. I'm grateful. Okay, okay? That's the best thing to have right now, especially with everybody with the Rona, okay? And if you have caught the Rona, more power to you. I mean, no more power to you. I hope you guys, I wish you guys well. Okay, let's see. We're just gonna get our special guest in here. How was you guys' New Year's? Have you guys, while we wait for our special guest to join, wait for it to pop up. Oh, well, that popped up really soon. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I swear to God, you guys, I am not on drugs. My nose is just running. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Hello. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm blessed.
Yes, okay. So the routine with the show is before we get the show started, you got to give us something that you're grateful for.
I'm grateful to wake up to see another day.
Oh, man.
Because it's not guaranteed for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm really grateful for, to be honest. Like, just waking up,
I can dig it.
Yeah.
They already show you love. Talk about some Jersey guards.
Yeah. That's my guy, man.
I don't even know nothing. I just felt the need to Detroit to me to be like, no, Detroit guard. Okay, so they came for you today.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. They are here for you. Okay, so I'm super excited to have you. You are my first guest of 2022.
It's an honor.
I'm so excited to have you. We previously had a conversation, I guess like a pre-interview before we got to this, and we talked about a lot, but we did get to share with them. So we're going to share all that and more with them. So, I think a new thing that I really want to start doing this year, you guys, I know a lot of times, sometimes guests like to introduce themselves, but I like to, let my guests know that I did my research. So, fam, we got professional athlete Gene Campbell, who currently plays in Portugal.
Yes.
All right, got her. Who currently plays in Portugal, you guys. So we ain't got no little dog in the building today. We gotta have a hit in the building today, okay? We kicking off 2022 with all the high energy, okay? Somebody say you look like your father, Gene.
Nah, dude, that's my twin, man.
Okay, so I found out a lot about you. You're a professional athlete. You also have your business Different. I also saw that you're a brand ambassador, and then we know that you're not one of the regular ball players. You got real degrees. So okay, let's talk about I don't know where I want to start. Okay, so let's just talk about growing up in Jersey. I know we talked a little bit about that.
Yes.
And you moved around a lot. So what was that like, living in Jersey and just having to move around a lot?
It was kind of frustrating, like growing up as a kid, making friends and then not seeing the friends again because you're moving to another school. And then every time I go to another school, I'm the new kid on the block, and I have to deal with building friendships with new people, learning to be accepted by different types of people.
Yeah.
It was very difficult.
And so it seems like you're no stranger to adversity, and resilience is something you've actually just had to build up as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said for sure. Yeah, that's.
How do you think? Like, do you think you recognize how that would benefit you in the future? I know sometimes you can be like, I'm gonna need this later on, but did you think as a kid like this shit just hard, man? This is
Nah,
hard.
I just dealt with the adversity and overcame all the obstacles that came my way.
Yeah,
I didn't really think too hard about it. Like, oh, this is gonna make me a stronger person. I just dealt with it. I just took all the hits and all the punches that came, and I just overcame all the obstacles. It was a natural thing for me.
where you think you get that from?
I definitely get that from my mother. My mother definitely,
The black moms.
yeah, my mom definitely dealt with a lot of adversity growing up, and she is a really strong woman that was able to overcome a lot of things. So I definitely say my mother is the number one inspiration for my uh, me fighting through my obstacles in life.
Shout out to the black moms. Well, shout out to the black moms. We'll never let y'all down. Okay, so let you like growing up. What was your household like? Did you have both your parents in one house? I know your mother and your father were both around, but were they in the same
Yeah.
household with you?
Yeah, we were in the same household. We lived in a two-family house, and I shared my room with my sister, and in my early childhood, and that was cool. You know, me and my sister, we are some years apart, so she's a bit older than me. But you know, growing up with my sister was no problem. It was cool. It was you know, we weren't the wealthiest family, but we didn't really have money like that. But we weren't. I wouldn't say like living day by day. We weren't. I'm not gonna say comfortable, but not really on the very poor side. Like it was okay. You know, it was livable. We did what we could. Yeah.
I like that. You can't beat that. So how do you think having both your parents in your household contributed to like your upbringing and your just being able to face that adversity? Because I feel like sometimes when you only have one parent, you only see what it's like to deal with struggles from your mom's side or from a woman's perspective. But when you got both, masculine and feminine in your house, how did that contribute, you think, to you being able to handle adversity?
Because my mother handled adversity in different ways than my dad handled adversity.
How so?
Like my dad was more of like if somebody, you know, give you a problem, you gotta fight them. Like if they give you a problem, you gotta check them. My mom was more like you gotta be the bigger man about it and walk away. So
Oh, really?
both sides, yeah, I got both sides of
I'm with your daddy. I'm with your daddy.
Most of the time, I pick my dad's way, but at times when I needed to, I pick my mom's way because it's the more mature thing to do. But you know, sometimes you can't help it. Yeah.
you gotta check a nigga sometimes. You gotta let you know. I'm with Pops. I'm fucking with your daddy.
Yeah, Pops always told me, you know, don't let nobody walk over you. Don't let nobody put their hands on you or talk to you any type of way. You gotta stand up for yourself. And if they hit you, you gotta hit them back.
I like that. Do you think you ever struggle with that? You know, trying to figure out what side to take sometimes?
Yes. Definitely.
Do you
Because
struggle with that? I'm sorry.
growing up, I did have like a temper, like that I still kind of have, but it's really controlled. So it was hard for me to, you know, keep my hands to myself when I felt like I was in a threatening situation.
Right.
But sometimes, you know, you just got to be the bigger man and walk away. It ain't even worth it. Like, especially at this point in my life.
Yeah, now.
With me, you know, reaching success with a lot of things, I don't have time to be fighting anybody. Unless it's boxing, it's organized, we could do that.
I saw that. that.
I do a little bit of that. So, like, if it's organized, it's cool. It's legal. You know, it's a sport. But I'm not going to be out here in the streets just fighting people. That's not me.
Yeah, you going to catch a lawsuit. You going to get a fat-ass lawsuit.
Yeah.
You got too much to lose. You work really hard.
Yeah. So,
okay. You said what?
At this point, it's like, yeah, you got it, man. Just walk away. You got it. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you channel it now into boxing. Where was it channeled as a kid? Was that basketball?
It was martial arts. I actually did martial arts growing up. Yeah,
What? Really?
for a couple years. Yeah, my parents put me in. It's called Cherrell School of Karate. I did karate for a couple years.
Oh,
Before
wow.
I started doing boxing. Yeah,
That's nice. You was still
yeah,
beating up people after that? Like, you still getting a fight?
yeah. I mean, I always had a pretty decent fighting background. Like growing up, like I wasn't the type of person that's going. Nah, I'm putting them up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta protect myself. And my parents always told me to make sure you protect yourself. My dad tell me all the time, protect yourself at all times. That's his main thing. He be telling me, protect yourself at all times, whether it's
With
with
your
women.
daddy.
What he said, whether it's with women or fighting,
Okay?
he said, protect yourself at all
Definitely no.
times.
Definitely no. You got to protect yourself different because with the money come the women. Okay,
Yeah,
so let's move on through school. So you going through school, you got this temper. Like, I know we talked a little bit about how you got into basketball. I know you saw, like, I think you said your sister played and then some
yeah.
other family members played. But what really got you into basketball? What was it about basketball that you was like, yo, I wanna try this?
It was always something that I liked watching as a kid. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I grew up watching Paul Pierce. That was one of my favorite player. Still my favorite player, even though he retired. And I just love the game. I love the atmosphere. And it was something that I just wanted to get into, but it was hard because I kept moving to different schools. Like I would play basketball in this school and then move to another one. And then I play here and then I move to another one. And then my 8th grade year, the school didn't even have a basketball team. So I didn't even play basketball in 8th grade. I was just, going to school.
Okay, so and you're going when we talk, you were going to what? These are predominantly white schools you're still going to at this point?
Uh, once I started, once I moved out of Jersey City, well, when I moved out of Jersey City, I was still going to school in Jersey City. But then once I stopped going to school in Jersey City, it became predominantly white for sure.
And
Yeah.
then and what grade is that? Like high school?
Like close to high school, like I want to say like middle school.
And
Yeah.
so did I know like we talked a little bit just about you having to deal with a lot of racism growing up. I know we talked about the
Sure.
what was it they called you a gay black boy?
Yeah, the first day of high school was crazy. Like the first week of high school, I got into a fight because I was called a gay black kid, and I just wasn't having it with him. So we got into it, and I told the principal, what he said to me, and they sent him home and suspended him. Sent me home, but I could come back the next day, and they suspended him for a couple days.
And you
I
don't
was
know
like,
why.
what was that?
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just saying, like, they sent him home and suspended him, and then I was able to come back to school the next day because of what he said. And he actually admitted to the principal that he said that.
Oh, he
So,
a boss.
yeah, so he was, you know, loud with the racism. He didn't care. He didn't want to hide it. So that was my first week of freshman year. It was crazy.
What? Why the fuck? What was like? What possessed him to call you gay? Like black, I can see the black. Like
I didn't even do anything that would portray homosexuality. I don't even remember. Like, I was just talking to somebody, and I think he was in my conversation, and he felt like what I was saying was portraying homosexuality, which wasn't even true. And then he just called me a gay black kid, and every time I seen him, he kept calling me that. And I'm like, nah, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. Nah, I'm not. Yeah,
it would have made me mad as fuck too. Like, bro, what
yeah,
is the problem right now? Somebody
yeah,
said if niggas ain't got nothing else, they got the audacity. Okay, you better know niggas gonna have the audacity. They is
yeah.
gonna have the fucking audacity. All right, so we move along. What year did you officially like? So tell me about your basketball high school career. Did you play in high school?
Yeah, I played in high school. I actually got cut my freshman year, so walked in, try out, thinking I'm good. I was better than like most of the people that was at the tryout for JV. They weren't even that good. I mean, I wasn't good either, but I was better than most of the people there. And the coach already knew who he wanted on his team, like before I came to try out. And I guess I didn't stand out how he wanted me to. And he was like, we'll let you know. And he never let me know. And so I pretty much got cut my freshman year. So I took that to the heart. I didn't really display me taking it to the heart, but I took it to the heart. And it made me work extra hard that summer going into my sophomore year. And I was pretty much playing basketball every day from like 12 o'clock to 8 p.m. every day in the summer. And just basketball and video games that summer. Like, it was just I was just locked in.
Was the video games basketball too, or was it something else?
It was basketball. It was like a little bit of Call of Duty, but it was basketball.
Okay.
And, you know, that was that summer, and I just came in, you know, locked in, and I actually made the team my sophomore year, and then I just kept progressing from there.
So when you got cut, it was more so, you know, favoritism over talent. It wasn't really
Favoritism for
about.
sure. You know how I know it was favoritism? Because I came back the following year, and the same players that were on the team when I got cut were on the team when I came back, and I started over all of them. So it didn't even make sense. Like, it was crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, I got better since the previous year.
Because you was
But
you was ass.
they they were the same, and they weren't even good. Like, it was crazy. Like, even me playing at the level that I thought I was good at my freshman year was still better than them. Like, I
What was
probably was
your
better
record?
in like fifth grade. Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember your record?
Um, my freshman year when I got cut.
No, the year you played.
Year I played,
Your sophomore. Yeah.
we were like 500. I think we were like 500, like middle of the pack. Not
Okay.
really stand out, not really far off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you get cut. You make the team sophomore year, and you play. You play sophomore. You play junior.
Junior and senior.
And you play your senior year. Let's talk about when you got cut. I know you said you took it to your heart and just made you want to work harder. Who did you feel like you had to prove something to? Was it to yourself, or was it to, you know, the coach that cut you?
I had to prove something to myself and the coach. I had to make him regret cutting me. You know what I'm saying? I had to make him take a second think, take a second look like at me as a player, and make him regret, make him eat his words, make him eat that. Make like, you know, dang, maybe I shouldn't have cut him. Actually a good player. You know what I'm saying?
And what did you want to prove to yourself?
I wanted to prove to myself that I can handle adversity. I wanted to prove to myself that if I fail in a situation, I fail to move forward and I fail to give up. So I fell forward and I came back the following year and succeeded. And I feel like that's like my story for real, like just failing to move forward. You know, I had a lot of failures even after that, but I kept failing to move forward. That's the thing in life. You know, you're never gonna succeed in everything at first. Sometimes you're gonna fail, but you gotta move forward though. You can never go backwards.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I think that I remember we're gonna talk about you going JUCO, because that's a super important part, or super instrumental part in your career. And I told you that the first time I heard of that was on All American when Tay Diggs' son was like, you know, I can't go pro, you know, I can't enter the draft or whatever, or he can't go to a 4-year just because he's injuries. He's like, I'm gonna go JUCO, and then me and you talked about that with you about you going JUCO. You know, I know you said that your family, I read a couple of your interviews, and you said that your family is like your biggest supporter. Like, they're your foundation, they're your rock. You know, did you feel like you were letting them down because you couldn't go to a 4-year, you know, originally? Or was that never your plan? Did you plan to go to JUCO?
So with the JUCO, it was more like a money situation at first with my parents. They weren't able to afford for me to go to a 4-year school unless I had a full scholarship. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't able to get a full scholarship out of high school, unfortunately. So, you know, basketball was something that, I would say my freshman year, basketball was something that, you know, I wanted to do, that I was very interested in. But at that time, my education was, like, more important to me. So, like, my mom always told me, get your degree first and then worry about basketball, because if something happens, if you get hurt, you're not going to have an education to fall back on. So, yeah. You know, I took that in and I utilized that. And my freshman year, I came in. I didn't even get recruited to play JUCO. I just walked in the gym. Hey, coach, I want to try out. You know, do you have any tryouts? And he said, yeah, I got a tryout September like 5th or 6th. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. Went over there and I played average. I wasn't really standing out. It was like the college experience just hit me like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 18 years old, playing against grown men now. And
right.
Like, whoa, it's a big difference. You know, I was a slim dude. I wasn't really that tall. I started growing during college. It's crazy. I was still like 5'10" in college my freshman year. Yeah. Like, I'm 6'2" now. I'm 6'2" now, but I was like shorter then. I was always pretty athletic, but I was real slim and short. And I went into it doing my best, and he actually gave me a spot on the team, and I was grateful for the opportunity. Yeah. And freshman year, I came off the bench most of the year because there was a guard that was really good. He actually had 1,000 points that year. He was really good. So I actually learned a lot from him, and good dude. And I had moments during the season where I came off the bench and scored double digits at least like maybe 7 or 8 times. Came off the bench like 15, 17. I did pretty solid. I finished that season averaging 10 points a game. And I wasn't going to be a starter my sophomore year. They already had somebody that was supposed to be a starter over me for my sophomore year. But he ended up failing off. So he failed off. They threw me in the start lineup, and then that's when my career took off. That's when I went crazy. Honestly, that made me realize that I can play college ball at a level and that I can get paid to do it.
Okay, so let's talk about that because that just gave us a lot. You get there, it's like I feel like is it fair to say it's intimidating? Because now you ain't hanging with no little dudes no more. You say you even
It's grown men. It was people on my team. I'm 18, like 26-year-olds, 27-year-olds, like already. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa. So it was a big transition, and people were bigger, stronger, more experienced. So
what do you remember? Like when that was first? Like, I mean, I know it's like this is a little intimidating a little bit. Do you remember? Like, what was your thought? Like, I got to get up to speed, or was it like, yo, this? And did you ever question where you were going, or were you like, this where I'm supposed to be? I just got to get up to speed.
It was more like I got to get in the weight room. Like, that's the first thing I was saying. I got to get that weight room. Like they bullying me. I'm getting pushed around. Like I got to get in that weight room. I was already in shape. I feel like I was in great shape. At the level that I played in, I was in the best shape. For the team, I was one of the faster players on the team. Mm-hmm. I was able to shoot very well, so that stood out to the coach. This is like before I was like a ball handler. I was a shooter, and I would just catch and shoot, or I'd do one dribble pull up, or I'd go into the lane and do a floater because I wasn't strong enough to just lay or dunk on people because I was slim. So I had to figure out a way to adapt to the game, and I was doing that, and I was pretty good at that, I must say. Okay.
And then you go professional. So the same guy that got cut his freshman year goes to play overseas professional.
And nobody would have thought that. Like if you ask somebody like that knew me around that time, they would have never thought I'd be where I'm at today. And that's the beauty of the story because I exceeded all expectations, and I love it. I love the fact that nobody expected me to be playing professional basketball. I love it. I love it every day.
Do you think people so you have a master? I know you have a bachelor's and a master's. Do you have two of something? Do you have two bachelors and a master, or is it just a bachelor's and a master?
I have associates, bachelor's, and master.
You got all three.
Yeah.
Anybody expect you to have all three? And I really want to brag about that because I know we talk about like the niggas. I know this ball players, they got communication degrees. Niggas want to try to do no math. You have serious you have degrees that require a lot of thought, a lot of reading, a lot of writing. Tell us.
Yeah, a lot of reading, a lot of papers, like 10 pages.
Yes, a lot of papers.
Research, like everything, all the above.
On top of having to go to practice and playing in games and everything else. What are your degrees in? Tell them because I just feel like they need to know this.
They're in psychology. One is in liberal arts psychology, which is the associates. The bachelor's is in psychology. Is it mental? I think one of them is counseling and one of them is educational psychology. I got to go back to the house and look at them, but they in the fields of psychology.
Those are major degrees.
Yeah.
Those
They were very difficult to earn. Papers that I had to do before deadlines. Like I would say the biggest thing for me was time management, like especially being an athlete in college.